Hi everyone, how's it going? Um, I had an episode of slut shaming again from next door, but the thing is, unlike all the other times that they've taunted me or gaslit me or tried to get me to react, this one was like super obvious. There is something about me slut shaming myself or me being fat shamed or me being racially abused that just seems to just light these people's spark. And before you know it, a combination of me being calm and minding my business and them needing a spark in order to get their campaign going, they're always going to rely on that. If I use anything at all that makes me vulnerable or makes me, if I confess to something that I don't like about myself, or I talk about how, sore spots like being slut shamed when I had to be in emotionally abusive relationships. I didn't have to be in them, but me being slut shamed in emotionally abusive relationships and emotionally abusive friendships, that was always a sore point for me. Not because of the slut shaming, but because what was behind my actions. So when people made snap judgments based on their own perceptions and I was dealing with my own experiences over here, it's the same with fat shaming, the same with anything. There's a story behind who I've been and what I used to do. So the gang stalkers know that that's a sore point for me. Anything that I get attacked for, that's as a result of abuse and not as a result of simply me not having respect for myself, that's a sore point for me. So, when I talk about it or when I record on my phone about it, that is the thing that, especially when the gang stalkers get desperate enough, because there comes a time where I just stop reacting to the bullshit. And you guys saw from the gang stalking update that I just stop reacting to shit sometimes, because it's just like, I've been through this before. I'm not going to react to every single little thing that you do. I haven't got time. And bear in mind, I've heard a lot of stuff go down here. When I came back from the hospital and I was being electronically tortured again, I heard from that same place next door, don't turn it up too high because I don't want to hear her screaming. So I heard that. I've also heard people saying, because I said, I said on a video that it doesn't matter like what people do or something like that. It was one of the Saturn Chronicles videos. I hear a taunt from next door again saying, stop saying that nothing matters. And I hear, gaslighting conversations, loud gaslighting conversations over and over again about how I'm lazy and this, that, and the third. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I can hear all this, but given my history with making errors when it comes to claims, even recently, like, I thought they called me a racial slur and they didn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? So given my history of getting things wrong, given my mental health diagnoses, my mental health diagnoses given even when I had evidence of harassment, given all of this, taking all of this into consideration, I had to wait until it became super. Oh, yeah, no. Another thing I forgot that I told you is they had a habit of knocking on the door from next door or knocking on their wall, because that was a trick that they used to use to get me up out of bed and getting me looking at the front door. At first, it was only by accident, but then they started doing that regularly because they thought I would just leap up out of bed and go see see if my door is being knocked on, because the walls here are thin, so there's almost no distinction between my own door being knocked and their door being knocked. So they figured that out and they use that as well. And sometimes I get occasional knocking on my wall, but again, not only is it stuff that I've already been through before and therefore I don't need to react to it again, but I was focused so hard on my Real Justice Tarot thing and so focused on my business and so focused on trying to make more money and trying to get my life off the ground that they just didn't feature. So of course, when the psychological torture is failing to elicit the reactions that the handlers want, what the gang stalkers are forced to do is they're forced to attack something that is sensitive to me. And in my case, I react very sensitively to any sexual congress or any physical, like anything a woman usually gets shamed for, like being big or being promiscuous, anything that I'm shamed for that was as a result of the abuse or anything that I sustained abuse through, that's a sticking point for me. So that's what they use whenever I get too calm. And what they're hoping for is when they do that, like this person did, call me a slut through the wall, what they're hoping for is that I'll react violently because they know I have borderline personality disorder and they know I have complex PTSD. So they know that I get angry. I've been angry before, right? So they know I get angry. And they know I get angry. So they're thinking that if they keep doing that and they keep using that against me, that they will have enough to report back to Kudos, who are my landlords. They'll have enough to report back to Kudos so that Kudos can say, look, we don't want this person living here. It's just too much aggravation to go through. So it's the same everywhere. They've been doing it since I've been living at my dad's, like maybe even before that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they've been doing it for a long time now, like, wearing on me emotionally, moving from place to place because they know I have BPD and they can lean on me like that. They've been doing it for years. Like, it's not even just in Brighton, it's in London too. Remember, I lived in London for 34 fucking years before I came here. They were doing all that shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? They were doing all that shit. So, do you know what I mean? So, this is nothing new to me. They do this all the fucking time. Every time you're too calm and you reveal something, all I have to do, this is what I figured out. All I have to do is keep calm and be vulnerable and wait for these people to pounce. All I've got to do is stay calm, be vulnerable, talk about my vulnerabilities, and wait for these people to pounce and reveal themselves, because that's what they did today. So they've revealed themselves as the torturers. They've revealed themselves as the harassers. They revealed themselves. I've been waiting for months for them to reveal themselves, and they've done it. Now, with them calling me a slut through the wall so audibly, it's not even the fact that they called me a slut, it's the fact that it was so audible. It was audible, it was clear, and it was one word. And it is not something that you can mistake for something else. They fucked up. Now, I have a case. I explained to the landlady, I said to the landlady, like, because of everything that's happened between me and the relocation agent that was in charge of this place, because of everything that happened between me and her, now the harassment's going to get worse. It didn't get worse, but it continued, right? Now it's going to get worse. I foresaw this shit, because it always does, right? I said it was going to get worse, and now it has. Now I have it on record. And I have form with regards to Brighton Council of not lying. I have form for telling the truth. I have form, just like I had form with Brent Mind, just like I have form with Brent. I have form for telling the truth as far as I know it. I have form for admitting my mistakes. I have form for owning my shit, even if it makes me look bad. I've got form. I literally put myself at risk for mental health to call me paranoid schizophrenic in order to tell me the truth, in order for me to tell the truth. They can't fuck with me on credibility. They can't fuck with me on credibility. That's A. B, I'm on band A in this bitch. So if they, already I'm on mental health as being paranoid schizophrenic and shit like that, I'm set up for life. Band fucking A, bitch. If I'm mentally ill and they're going to lie about, in the mental health profession are going to lie about me being paranoid schizophrenic, that puts me on band A for the rest of my fucking life. Especially if I'm not going to be able to find a permanent place. Like, I'm on band A for life. So I'm always going to be top priority. And wherever they want to move me to, they can move me wherever the fuck they want to move me to. If the same thing is happening nationwide, if they're going to move me from city to city, from town to town, it proves that not only is this happening citywide, it proves it's happening nationwide as well. So whatever happens to me, it doesn't matter if I want to leave on my own accord. Doesn't matter if these people want me to leave. I'm on bam fucking A, dude. They've got to find me somewhere else. They've got to find me somewhere else. So in people lying that I'm paranoid schizophrenic and that, my mental illness is worse than it is, they've put themselves into a trap, not me. They put themselves into a trap. So I've learned my lesson. Stay calm and be vulnerable. I've learned my lesson. That's all I have to do. And then watch these people fuck up. And the irony is that these people have been talking, these people behind me, they've been rabbiting on about me trying to take revenge on them. Did they actually hear what I said? I said that if you want me to leave, cool. But I'm going to leave on my terms, not yours. That's what I said. And they helped me out with that. They helped me out with that, with their behavior. So, I have nothing to worry about. The longer this goes on, the less I have to worry about. It's actually quite amazing. It's actually quite amazing. That word slut, it didn't just like whore with Samira Igal and her putting that recording of some dickhead saying Fabienne is a whore over and over again. It proved without doubt what was going on. So does this. You stay calm, you open yourself up vulnerably, and then you watch them pounce. Watch them pounce. It's just too easy. Watch those motherfuckers pounce. And the thing is, right, is that I can't get people on the street, and they know I can't get people on the street, so they'll say it on the street as well. But the thing about me is that I focus my attention. Why get people on the street when I can get landlords directly? When I can get the police directly? When I can get charities directly? When I can get councils directly? Why deal with the small fish when I can deal with the big ones? Do you understand? Anyway, I've got to show you this recording of a police conversation, a conversation I had with the police 101 earlier about this incident. Now, here's a disclaimer. I say that this is the first time that I've reported antisocial stuff, but it's actually not the first time I've reported it. It's going to be the first time that I've reported it to Brighton Police or Sussex Police. But it's not going to be the first time I've reported antisocial behaviour and incitement. Because the last time I reported it with some dickhead talking about P words and black people, that wasn't aimed directly at me. I aimed at people in this general area. Now I have something that's aimed directly at me. Now I have a piece of proof, and my credibility cannot be fucked with, will not be fucked with. And you'll see why in a second. Hold on.
There's a reason I say that.
Hold on.
I'd like to report antisocial behaviour and incitement, please.
Certainly. I'll transfer call to the contact centre. Next officer becomes available in 20 minutes. Stay online, please. Connecting now.
Thank you. Well, it's the first time I'm reporting something of this nature, yeah.
You said potential incitement.
Yeah, there's a reason I say that. After I give you the incident, I can give you the details after that if you'd like.
Yeah,
perfect. No worries. Can I just take some basic details first? Can I start off with your name?
Okay, it's Foxtrot Alpha Bravo,
Yeah.
India Alpha,
Yeah.
November Echo. That's my first name.
Sorry, November Echo, yeah?
Yeah.
So is that Fabienne?
Yeah.
Perfect. And what's your surname?
It should be on there. It's Deacon.
Deacon?
Yeah.
Home postcode for you, alright?
Okay, it is Bravo November. Okay, my date of birth is at 9:40.
Hold up.
In the morning, whilst at 9:43 a.m. approximately in the morning, whilst I was paying some bills online, I heard the word slut being shouted through the wall by a female voice over into my room.
Right, okay. Sorry, what time?
9:43 a.m. this morning.
9:43 this morning. Bills online and heard a female next door. So what house number's that?
They've been doing construction and I don't think they've arrived yet. So
Okay.
it's the wall behind me, I think, might be 16.
Shit. I didn't mean to do that.
We have never had a discussion,
Right.
but for some reason I know what the reason is, and I'll tell you that. Had a discussion,
Right.
but for some reason I know what the reason is, and I'll tell you that in a minute. But they're screaming slut through the wall. I'm thinking,
Right.
that's a bit ridiculous, but yeah, I mean, I can give you some background into that if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay, so basically, what I do every morning is I either record myself talking about the dreams that I had the night before, or I'll record myself every morning talking about how I feel about specific situations. And today, when I was recording on the phone to myself, I was basically talking about how I was slut-shamed throughout my life whilst I was in abusive relationships, and whilst I was basically behaving with no real dignity on my part. So I was reflecting on that, and I was reflecting on how that will bring shame on my family, this, that and the third. And because the walls are very, very thin, and I am very, very loud when I'm passionate, everybody could hear what I was saying word for word. Anybody in close proximity could hear what I was saying word for word. So there's no way that nobody next door heard me. So it was that. The recording was 23 minutes, 10 seconds when I'd done that. That's how long the recording lasted. And I finished the recording at 9:17 in the morning. Now, I was just minding my business, paying my bills. At 9:43, this person decides to call me a slut.
Right.
Now, prior to that, there had been other instances of gaslighting and taunting from next door. But the thing is, because I've gotten things wrong before, you can see it on your report. I thought somebody had called me the word nigger, and they hadn't. So that you've reported already?
What,
the hate crime thing? Yeah, I reported that incident from the 30th of I think it was the 30th of July, but it turns out they hadn't actually said that. It was something to do with E. It had nothing to do with a racial slur.
It wasn't a racial slur.
No, the P word, the person who walked by and said the P word and black people, that was definitely a racial slur, and that was definitely loud and clear. But I've gotten, my point is that because I have borderline personality disorder and complex PTSD, I've gotten things wrong before. So whilst I was hearing gaslighting and taunts from next door, I wanted to be absolutely sure of what I was hearing before I made any reports, and now I have conclusive proof that they have been doing that. I don't know them from a can of paint. I don't know them from Adam, and they have been doing that. And my thing is this, right? Because I've been through this before. My thing is this: the only reason I could think of why somebody I don't know would be trying to poke the bear. They know I have borderline personality disorder. They know that part of borderline personality disorder is anger. They know that. They've heard that through the war. So I'm putting all of this together and thinking to myself, why else would they do this unless they wanted to actually harass me out of the building?
Right.
You know, for business reasons. Why would they shout slut at the top of their lungs at somebody they don't know?
How long have you lived there?
Not long, it's been since May.
Okay. Do you live by yourself?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Okay. Do you know how many people live next door? I know you said you've never seen them, never had a discussion, but is that a female by herself?
There's only one person from that particular address that introduced themselves to me.
Right.
But it's I don't know how many people live there. And the person that introduced themselves to me was male, and yet the person that shouted through the wall, slut through the wall, was female.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, why would they do that unless they wanted a way for me to leave of my own accord so that they could free up the flat? Why else would they do that? Because I don't know them.
Okay. So, obviously, I will make a note of this. I'll look into further calls, but we kind of asked this with the majority of the calls. In an ideal world, within the realms of, sensibility, what would you like us to do with this report? Is it something that is filing, or would you like to speak to an officer further about it, by phone or in person, or...
That's a really good question, because somebody called me slut through the wall once.
Yeah.
Part of me wants it investigated, because the thing is that I want to hear what they have to say about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Part of me wants to speak to an officer and have it investigated, and then there's another part of me that just wants to file it because I don't need the extra stress.
Yeah, of course. Okay, well, I think what I'll do, so do you believe that there is kind of a hate motive behind this sort of stuff?
I don't think they hate me. I think what it is that, think of it like this, right? You either own a property, or, you own a property, or you are, you're in cahoots with people who own the property, and you know that you could probably make more money from a flat when it's not rent controlled. You also know that if the tenant leaves of their own accord, then they only need a month's notice to leave, basically. Whereas if you want to kick them out, not only do you need to give the tenant 4 months notice, but you actually have to have a strong case to get that person out as well. So by leaning on my borderline personality disorder and getting me to fly into a rage with gaslighting and taunts, then they would have something against me, no? And if they had anything to report against me, then they could possibly get me out through other ways. And then on top of that, you have to consider, if I went into a rage enough times, and they would land me into hospital. Now, in hospital, they could keep me for a certain amount of months, and then the flat could be freed up that way, because it's only a certain amount of time that I'd be able to stay in there without losing my flat. So basically, if they can't get me out the traditional way, if I'm paying my bills and I'm not making any noise and I'm not making any trouble and I'm just doing normal shit in my house, and they want to free up the flat, then there's certain things that they're going to have to do in order to make sure that happens. So I don't think it's personal. I think it's business.
Right, okay. Okay. What I think I'll do is I think I will pass the report on.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Just so a colleague can have a look at it.
Okay.
And maybe I'll state that at first it would be maybe the best course of action would maybe for them to give you a call.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And just to confirm, obviously, I just want to make sure in terms of like safeguarding you, making sure you're okay. You've obviously mentioned that you do suffer from your borderline personality disorder. Do you have to take any medication for that or anything? Or?
Not at the moment, but
Right.
for me, it's always been about the harassment, because even with my borderline personality disorder and all the stuff that's wrong with me, if somebody bothers me, the thing that I always do is I always tell somebody. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is.
Right.
If somebody's harassing me, my first port of call is to immediately tell someone what's happening. What needs to happen is that there needs to be better protection for somebody in my position. Because the thing is, if you're leaning on somebody with borderline personality disorder so that they'll fly into a rage, that's incitement. So you're inciting somebody so you can free up a flat? No, there needs to be better protection.
Okay. Yeah, I think we do need to kind of move this on and just make sure that, you know, we're doing everything that we can for you. So I just need a couple more details from you. I've got your date of birth. Can I take an email address for you?
So, sorry, if you hear like little yelps and stuff in the background, that's actually me. I'm actually very angry at the moment still because of them coming after me without a way home. I'm still quite angry about it. But the fact that I've actually done something, it does make me feel better about the fact that I've done something. And plus, you know, I have nothing to worry about. I just don't like it when complete strangers call me out my name for no reason. I don't care what you're doing it for. I don't care if you're paid to do it. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't like that shit.
It's quite long. It's Foxtrot. Yeah, I'm sorry about this.
That's alright.
Alright, it's Foxtrot Alpha Bravo,
Yeah.
Alpha Lima,
Yeah.
Oscar Charlie,
Yeah.
Iceland Oscar,
Yeah.
Umbrella Sierra,
Yeah.
Delta Echo,
Yeah.
Echo
Yeah.
at gmail.com.
Cool, perfect. And do you currently have an occupation? Do you work at all at the moment?
No. I'm currently unemployed. I'm registered disabled, so yeah.
Okay.
Unemployed.
Do you mind me asking, is that because of the borderline personality disorder? Do you have any other ailments?
I was actually diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia because I've been talking about community stalking for years.
Right.
They've always basically, mental health have always basically written it off as a delusion, even though there's proof and evidence of everything that I'm saying.
Right.
But I kind of use that to my advantage. I'm thinking, if you're gonna lie and say that I have paranoid schizophrenia, then
Yeah.
I might as well just use that to my advantage while I try to figure out exactly how I'm going to manage being harassed and moved from place to place.
Okay. And just to confirm, do you, whether you take it or not, do you have any medication for the schizophrenia?
No, because I don't have
No.
schizophrenia.
You
In fact, I've tried to get mental health to give me a CT scan so that they can prove that I have paranoid schizophrenia. Because paranoid schizophrenia, the CR1 part of the brain, which is kind of at the center of the brain, when you have paranoid schizophrenia, that part of the brain is damaged. So I'm thinking, if I really have paranoid schizophrenia, then you won't mind giving me a CT scan to prove it. And then even if it does prove it, like, what would cause that kind of brain damage to give somebody paranoid schizophrenia in the first place? Because that's brain damage. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even if it's genetic, that's brain damage, my guy. So how would it have been caused? So that's why I don't take the medication, because they have no empirical evidence behind their diagnosis.
No, that's fair enough. Okay, I just need to to ask you one more thing, if that's okay. Can I take your ethnicity? So, for example, I'm white British.
Black British.
Thank you. Okay, right. Are you in a position so I can give you a reference number to jot down, sorry?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Alright, so I've got the reference number for that. Okay, so yeah, well that's the whole incident reported to the police. There's also something else I want to mention. I've also heard them talking about me screaming in agony from last May, right? Or late May. It wasn't last May. It was this May. It was late May. May to June. So when they were torturing me and I was basically screaming, I did tell you guys that they recorded it. They recorded it and played it back loudly for me to hear. They were probably playing it for someone else as well, so that they could have something to use against me. Now, as I'm talking, they might have either deleted that recording, or they may delete it now that I've spoken about it and they can hear me speaking about it. I want them to hear me because I want to hear what they're going to do next. Because if they know what I'm going to do, then I know what they're going to do. So they were basically talking about me screaming in pain and agony and, you know, all the shit they caused, they've been talking about it. And they've been mocking me over it. They've been fucking, seriously, the shit that they've done. Again, it's a sore point. But for me, if you're going to say something so audibly in order for me to be able to prove that you've been behind a lot of what's going on this whole time, I'm going to take advantage. Just like you tried to take an advantage of a sore spot. Just like the handlers continue trying to take advantage of a sore spot. They know that I hate the abuse of children. They know how I feel about that. They know how I feel about slut-shaming. They know how I feel about fat-shaming. So guess what? They're going to use that. They're going to use that and they're going to press on that, because somebody with borderline personality disorder that has no wave breaks when it comes to their emotions, they're feeling they can lean on that and make me angry in a way that's going to help them. No. If I'm going to get angry, it's going to be in a way that's going to help me. So yeah, I'm going to get angry. Without a doubt, I will. But it's going to be on my terms. So, that is me for today. I don't know. I'm waiting for somebody to come. I don't know how long they're going to be. I've still got some cleaning to do. I might not even get it all done before they get back here. But thank you for joining me. I am going to load this on YouTube with trigger warnings. Let's see what YouTube does from here. I just hope I haven't doxed anybody, because I haven't revealed a street name or anything like that. So hopefully it shouldn't be a problem. So I love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.